Hi, thanks, Jen. I hope you can hear me. My name is Maria Hey, and I'm the support and test manager, just as Jen said. And we have a lot of ground to cover today, so I'll get it started. Like that. So, what is Jira Service Desk? I'm going to assume that a lot of you or all of you have been in contact with Jira Service Desk in one way or another. But just to make sure we're on the same page in this, Jira Service Desk is Atlassian's service desk project or product. It's built on Jira and it uses the ticket management to handle support. So anything you have in Jira with workflows and issue tracking and all of these, you're able to use in Jira Service Desk. So based on Jira and in Jira Service Desk, you call the people who are working on the tickets, meaning the company or whoever is providing this support are the agents. The project admins are the one who set up the Jira Service Desk projects, and it could be like me. I'm the support manager, so I manage our support project. And the neat thing about a JSD project is that it has a portal, and the portal is the customer interface. So it's not as technical as Jira might be. Instead, it's a simple portal where the customer comes to raise tickets. So with Jira Service Desk, you get the power of Jira for managing tickets while getting a really neat customer-facing interface. RefinedTheme is what we provide. We figured that Jira Service Desk out of the box has limited features for what you can do with the portal. So this is what we try to remedy. We provide tools for theming to get your portal to look and feel the way your brand does. We provide tools for making the customer portals more customized, and we'll look into this. But the underlying setup is the same as with Jira Service Desk, so we just extend these possibilities. Today, we're going to be looking at quickly on how you set up a help center with RefinedTheme, the tools that comes bundled with RefinedTheme, and a lot of time will be spent looking at the new features of our 1.2 that is currently in beta, that hopefully will be out in a few weeks. And then we'll end up with a little bit of Q&A. So, before we get started with the actual product demo, the way you install RefinedTheme is either you go to Atlassian Marketplace and you go find RefinedTheme for Jira Service Desk, download the jar and then upload it inside your Jira. Or you do what I find more easy. Inside Jira, you go to Find New Add-ons, use the UPM to locate RefinedTheme, and then you're good to go. As with our other server products, we have a 30-day trial, so you're welcome to test it out and see what it can do for you. Throughout this demo, I will be logged in as someone who is both a Jira admin, meaning I will have access to the configuration of Jira, and a JSD project admin, so that we can see all of it and I don't have to switch between users. Now I'm going to see and to change my screen here. So Jen, you have to let me know if you can see it. But hopefully now you see I will close this down. Hopefully now you see my Google window or Google Chrome. Is that correct? I hear nothing. Good. Then we'll continue. So this is the side where what the customer will see once they visit your portal. But we'll actually start off in the theme configuration. And we've made it easy for you. So we have a quick tool here to get us to the configuration. Now I'm in the add-ons section of the Jira administration. Once you've installed RefinedTheme, you will have the configuration on the left-hand side. And the RefinedTheme configuration basically consists of 4 tabs. It's the general configuration, it's customer portals, it's themes, and it's self-service settings. We'll start with the first one. General configuration is where you set up things that affect your entire portal. So for instance, it's whether you want to have global theming on, meaning that all of your portals will be themed. You can decide what theme you want to be the default one. So this will show up on all of the theme portals, except for the ones that you've said, I want a different theme here. You have a possibility of setting a customer portal logo in case you want a different one from your Jira. And we also provide anonymous access, which means that the help center can be viewed by an anonymous user without having logged in. You can have that as a landing page. And then this one is actually quite neat. It's a quick link to the help center, and I will be using that later. The next tab is the customer portals, and this can be a little tricky if you have a large instance. A logged in user, that is a Jira admin user, will see the help center always, but it will the user will see the portals that, or the service desks that it is allowed to see. I can easily add myself to the project in case I want to see it, but this is a way we've set it up so that if you have a really large instance with, for instance, 100 projects, it can be hard to manage. So if you have several Jira admins, they can divide them in between to see just some of them. Here you can also notice that the HR Service Desk has a different theme than the other ones, and this is where you set that up. So you basically just change theme on that one, or use global theme if that's what you want to do. The next tab here is where you manage your themes, and RefinedTheme comes bundled with 4 themes. It's the first 4 here, and then you have the rest of the ones that are things that we've created. The easiest way is to copy one of them. If you think, oh, this is nice, I just want to change the color or the background, then you can start off with the settings that we have. If I click copy here, it will create a copy and it will open the theme editor. And in this webinar, I will not be spending any time here in the theme editor, but if you're interested in that, we have a webinar from this summer where we went through a little bit more on how you set up a theme. So if you're interested in that, we will send you the link in some way. But now I don't want to do that, so I'll close the editor. I don't want to save anything. And I will also delete this one, otherwise it will be a lot of them here, which is easily done. If you want to create one from nothing, then you just click create theme at the bottom here, and you will open the theme editor after you set a name to it, and that's about it. So it's quite easy to work with. The fourth and final tab here is the self-service settings, and recommended links is what's in here right now. Recommended links we introduced in our last version, which was 1.1, and it's basically a way of setting up links that you know the users are probably looking for. So if we expand the one for HR Service Desk, and by the way, it's the same setup here. If you can see the project as a project admin, you will see it here. So I have the same ones showing up here as I do under customer portals. For this one, we have one recommended link. I will click edit here just to show you how it's set up. It has a title, it has a URL, which is the actual link that you will come to, and it has match words. And so if a user visits, or a customer user visits the portal and uses the search highlights, searches for vacation, this one will pop up in the search results, so we can guide our users to the correct information. But now let's look at the actual service desks. Now I'll go back to general configuration, and I'll actually command click the help center down here so that I get a new tab. So as I said, this is the portal, and up in the left you can find the breadcrumbs to see where you're at. Right now we're at the help center, and if you're logged in as a Jira admin, you will have the edit pen on the right hand side. And this is where we set up the customer portal. It consists now of a search highlight, 3 navigation icons, a navigation content here, and you can file tickets down here. If we look at how you edit this, I will click the pen up in the right corner, and we can see that this is the search highlight. It's in a section of its own. It's this white thing over here. The next one is the section with the navigation highlights, or navigation icons, sorry. And here we have 3 columns, and it's quite easy to add a new section. You simply click here, you will have a new section. I don't want that there, so I'll remove it. And to add columns to a section, you simply just click the Add Column button. One neat thing you can do is also you can change the width of these. I want them to be on thirds, so that's as close as I'll get. Now I actually want to add a navigation or a module here. So I'll click like this. I will add a module. And the modules are the building blocks that you can use to create your portal. For my example here, I want to use the navigation content. I will add information about our latest event. I prepared, no I didn't. Let me just go and get my lorem ipsum text. Here we go. I will have a 2-column setup. I will have a button that says learn more. I'm not putting in a URL now because it's just a demo. And I actually can choose between icons and images. I want to have an image. And when you upload something to the portal, it will be accessible later on. And since I've done this before, I have my RefinedWiki cup down here. And I will use that one. I'll save it, and I'll save the entire portal. And as simple as that, I've added a new element here. This can also be used, for instance, to have specific information. So at the same one where I put in about the latest event, I will add a new column. I will make it a bit smaller. The module I'm adding is a navigation icon. I will call it server maintenance. I will use an icon that's a bullhorn, and I will make it red. No, that's not a nice red. Maybe that. And then I will save again. And as simple as that, if I had put in a link, this would have been clickable, and I would have guided my users to know when there's server maintenance. Another thing I do want to show you while we're here is that if I click the edit button again, you have a versions one up here. And now I actually don't want to save my the changes I made. So I'll click the version, which will then be populated by with all of the versions that we've had so far. And I can see that these are my changes, 209 and 210. So I will restore this to the 2081. And I will save it. And as easy as that, you can go back to a previous version. So in case you have something temporary you want to show, that's the way of doing that. As I mentioned before, we have the recommended links, and just to show you where these show up, I can start typing vacation, which was the recommended link we looked for, and now I get the filing for a leave of absence link here. So this is where the recommended links will show up for the users. And that is the very quick tour of what we have so far. We'll now move on to looking at what we'll be adding for the 1.2 version. So, speaking of recommended links, I'm going to click this one, filing for a leave of absence, which takes me to Confluence because that's where I had this one. I'll close the window down again, go back to the theme configuration, and I'll actually go directly into the self-service settings now. Let's open the HR one again. As you can see here, we have a new feature, and this one here, it's a counter for how many times a link has been clicked. This is one of the things we're adding. We can see that someone's clicked it once, and it was lastly clicked today. And the reason we've added this is because with content like this, it's quite easy that it adds up. All of a sudden you have 100 links, and you don't really know if people use them or not. So it's been decided, actually it was one of our customers that was involved in this too, that this is a really good way of finding out what links are used and what links aren't. Another thing we'll be adding for the 1.2, I'm going to edit this one, is several match words. So right now this one is set up towards vacation, but I can also set it up towards leave and absence, if I can spell absence like that. So you can have several match words, which makes it more easy to work with. And one more thing that we'll be doing with the recommended links is, now I'm moving away from the admin interface and going to the support project, or service desk project. Down here you have recommended links, just as before, and these are actually accessible for the agent as well. So now I'm actually at a different one. I'm at the IT service desk project here. So we have two recommended links. We have printer driver and setting up the VPN. It works the same way here. I can add more. Maybe someone will search for tunnel. Maybe someone will search for secure. For all of these, I can say that show this VPN link when these are searched. I can also go to the queue where I have my recent tickets or my open tickets. I will click on this ticket that's called I need a new printer driver. And another thing we're adding here is, if you scroll down, you will have the related recommended links. This is for the agent. If someone files a ticket that we actually have a recommended link for, or there's a match between what the user types for summary and what the link is called, if we have a match here, we want to help the agent find content that is relevant for this one. So by having this here, you can quickly get the customer the help that they need. So that's about it for the recommended links. We're now going back to the portal, where I'll actually show you, now I'm doing the command click again. I'll actually show you one thing that is quite small, but actually something that's been very requested. And down here we have this text. And in the first versions of this product, we've had two options for the text color. It's been dark or light. And I'll edit the page to show you what I mean. So now I'm clicking to edit the page again, scrolling down to the navigation highlights, clicking on it to get the settings window up. And as you can see, text color theme is either light or dark. But this is what we've added, custom color. You can set it to any color you want it to. So I'll choose this light red one. I'll save it, and I'll save the entire portal. And as you can see, we have a beta bug. This has been filed for and will be fixed by release date. But the text up here is now the color that I choose it to be. So that's a small thing, but it's highly requested. So hopefully you'll be able to do something with that. Another thing that we've also been adding is, I'll actually, no, I'll keep it like that. That's cool. Okay, so now I'll be adding another one. We've added a couple of more modules that you can use to build your portal. One of them I will show you now. I'll add a section and then I'll click to add a module. One thing we realized is that the My Requests is probably what the user who visits the portal is interested in. So what you have down here is a new module called My Requests. And it's actually quite simple. It only has a title. I wanted mine to be my open requests. Maybe I want a small r like that. I'll save this one. And I'll save the entire portal like that, which means all of a sudden when I visit this this help center, I will see what my open tickets are right out of the box, and that's actually quite nice. So far it's a static view, so you can't filter or anything like that, but you can see it. But what happens if someone is not logged in? If I have the anonymous mode on, then they won't have any requests. Well, we've thought about that too. So I'll edit the page again. And as you may know from before, each section can have a title. It's up on the left on each section. Now we've added this too. It's an open padlock. And this is actually permissions to see this section. So I'm clicking the padlock to get the settings up. As before, I can add a title if I want to, and I can add a secondary title. But this one down here is new, view permissions. If I check this one, this means that only logged in users will see this section. And it even goes a bit further. Based on the user groups that you have in your Jira, you can set it so that only administrators will always see it, or service desk users, or whatever group you may have. You can also say that both Jira administrators and Jira Service Desk users will see it. For my use case here, I just want it to be for the logged in users. So I'll keep it like this. I'll save the section settings. And as you can see, the padlock is now red because this has permissions on it. And I'll save the entire portal. And for a logged in user, it looks the same. But if I log out, which is done up here, it will actually be gone. And again, if I log in, it will be there again. So that's actually quite powerful because now you can present information for some users, but not for others. And this is for all the sections on all the portals. So you can even have it on HR. You can have some content for just the HR managers or something like that. So that's actually one of my favorite ones in this new release. Another thing I want to show you that we have is the next module that is new. And for this, I'm going to the HR Service Desk. And this, as you might remember from the start of this, it has a different theme. So it's actually aqua blue instead. And on this one, I want to add a few pages to common pages that people visit when they come to HR to find things. I'm a project admin, so I have the edit pen for this portal, and I'll click that one. I'll add a section, and in this section, I'll add a new module. And for this one, I'm going for the knowledge base module that's down on the left. I will call this HR information. I will add my Confluence URL. And now you can either specify space or not. I know that I have my content in the HR knowledge base, so it's HRKB, and this is the space key from Confluence. I want to just have the articles I've labeled with HR, and 5 items is okay with me. Then I can choose new window, same window, meaning that it will render in the same window as the portal, or pop up, but I'm fine with the new window default one here. So I'll choose that one, and I'll choose save, and scroll up and save the portal as well. And like that, I will have links to the pages that are in my Confluence, so that people can find it easily. And since we have the label and the space, you can actually mix and match to get to cherry pick the articles you want to be here. So it's a quick way of getting information to your people. We do have a few other things, small things here and there that will be adding for 1.2. But these are the ones I figure I have time to show you during this presentation. And now I'm going to switch screen again. Hopefully it will work, and you'll have to let me know if it doesn't. What? No, I can scroll inside this window. Oh, here we go. No, I can't. Well, that's kind of annoying. Oh, here we go. Can you see my keynote now? If you can't, you'll have to let me know. Good. So, summary. What RefinedTheme does is a way of theming your service desk, the portal side of things. We make it so that you can have your service desk and help center look and feel the way your brand is, and people will feel familiar when they come there. We also provide you with tools for organizing the content of your portals. And the new things we looked for that will be coming up in 1.2 is recommended links, a few new features there. We've looked at the colors you'll be having for setting colors on modules. And we also looked at my request, permissions, and the knowledge base module. And the 1.2 is available in beta, and you can go to our documentation site to download it. Don't do it in a production environment though, because it's still in beta and there are still a few things we're working on. And now it's time for Q&A.
That's really great. Thanks so much, Maria. We have a really good question, actually, about the new module features. And one of the questions is it possible for us to insert an HTML or coded plugin, they've said, but I think they mean like an HTML element into the module or as a module?
Yes. I'm see if I can switch back to my Google from here. Are you seeing this?
Yep, we see it.
Yep, good. So we do have the wildcard. Now I'm editing a customer portal again, and I'll just do add module down here. We do have the HTML module, which is available on a portal level. And that is the wildcard thing where you can do basically, as long as you know HTML, you can do put in anything you want in there. So I'm guessing that's sort of what you meant. On top of the ones that we have, I'm not sure. I would have to ask, or check that out. But this one you have, and this is basically just like enter your HTML here, and that will show up on your module.
Great. Yep, looks like we've answered that question. If there are any further questions, send them in now. And if you think of something after this webinar, we have a support service that Maria answers, so I can highly recommend using that, and I'll enter it into the chat here so you can visit that page. But it's support.refinedwiki.com, and you can just file a ticket there. And can't see any further questions, so we'll wrap it up there then. And of course, we will send you a recording of this webinar to your inboxes. But thanks everybody for tuning in today, and thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you.
Great.
See you around.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.